Hi guys, have you ever been on a diet and you've been really frustrated that you've been putting in all the hard work, but you can't see any change yet? And then you start losing faith in your diet and whether it's actually working or not. So when am I actually going to see the change if my diet is working or not? And at what point are we going to see the change in the mirror for ourselves? That's what we're going to be talking about today, as well as 2 ways to measure your progress through your weight loss journey. So it doesn't feel like that you're wasting your time through this weight loss phase. So let's get straight into it, guys. You start noticing the change in your body at around about 5% body weight loss. Now, 5% body weight loss. Hey, if I'm 100 kilos and I've lost 5, you're going to start seeing it in your face. You're going to start seeing it in your clothes. You're going to start seeing a few different changes throughout your body that give you faith that it is progressing in the right direction and all that hard work is worth it. Now, it's really important to know that we're all individuals and we all lose weight at different speeds throughout our journey. For example, when I go into a weight loss phase, I will lose a kilo a week. Sometimes in the first week, I'll knock off 2 kilos, and then it's pretty much steady a kilo a week from there. My wife, on the other hand, she will start, depending on the diet, of course, she will start a weight loss diet and then go phase and then go through, and she won't see much change until around about the 2nd or 3rd week mark, and then it starts falling off it. So we say not so much the time, but it's looking at a percentage of your body weight. When you've lost that, that's when you see the change. Now, we've also got to remember, guys, that there's no such thing as spot reducing fat. It's a complete and utter myth. And a lot of influencers are jumping on, so-called fitness experts are jumping on saying that, oh, you can take it from your tummy, you can take it from your arms, you can take it from your fat. Guys, fat is all over your body. And depending on what your genetics dictate, that's how it will be lost throughout your weight loss journey. For example, you'll see your weight loss in your face first, but you don't exercise your face any more than what you used to when you're eating. But you'll see it first as the first thing that will start to change throughout that weight loss period. So fat comes off your entire body all at once. However, like I was saying before, genetics will dictate what areas you'll store more fat than others. So for example, let's say when you were lean, when you're a teenager or a young adult and you started putting on fat, you might have seen it in your bum or your hips first. If you're a guy, you might have seen it in your tummy first. And then you start to grow and it starts to spread throughout your entire body with those same areas getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then you'll finally see it in your face. And that's the point where you'll say, hey, shit, I've got to lose some weight because it's getting out of control. When you start losing it, guess what? It's going to come off in that reverse order. So it'll come off your face first. It will come off the rest of your body gradually. With if you're getting really lean, the very last areas the fat's going to come off is the very first areas it's starting to be stored. So that's the order that your genetics dictate fat is going to be gained and lost. You can grow your legs, you can grow your arms, you can do all that. But fat is one thing that's coming throughout the entire body. You cannot spot reduce it. It is impossible, regardless of what all those other people that are trying to sell you views, sell you programs, sell you products are saying to you. Now, part 2 of that question, when are other people really going to start noticing your weight loss? Your weight loss will be really noticeable at 10% weight loss, guys. 10% fat loss. So 100 kilos, you get down to 90, everyone's going to go, whoa, what happened to you? What did you do? What are you being on? What diet are you following? What exercise are you doing? They're going to be asking 1,000 questions of how you changed your body. Now, you still might have weight to lose, but you lose that 10%, that's a massive change that everyone's going to notice. So that might take 10 weeks if you go hard and lose a kilo a week for 10 weeks. Or you might do it in a number of 10-week phases. So you might go 10 kilos, 10 weeks, take a break. You've got to go to your maintenance period, learn to maintain that weight for 8 weeks, and then you'll hit that again to knock off another 8 to 10 kilos in your next phase. So, hey, in total, you're looking at 6 months. 6 months 10 kilos lighter, 20 kilos lighter. But get through it, guys, because that 10% changes your life. You look completely different. You feel different. Although your life is still the same, it gives you options, believe me. So commit at least until you get to that 10%, regardless if it's 10 weeks or 6 months. Focus and get there. And you will get there, guys. Myself personally, I've done 10 kilos in 10 weeks, 8 times, and 8 different ways on 8 different diets. And it's worked every time. The same result, 10 weeks, 1 kilo per week, regardless of the diet, guys. It comes back to the process. And the process is in every single video of mine. Guys, I've got 600 videos coming your way over the next 12 months, covering everything that you need to know to lose whatever weight you need. If you can just take 10 seconds, like, subscribe, just so you're up to date with the daily drops into YouTube. Thanks heaps, guys. Back to the video of mine. Although I'm not going to go into that detail in this video, in its breakdown, it is you need to be in a caloric deficit. No matter what your macros are, doesn't matter what your diet is, you need to be in a deficit. Now, that deficit can be through activity, that can be through your diet, and it can be through additional training. And then the third thing is water. You need sufficient amount of water that your body requires so it doesn't store water. You cover those 3 things and you'll get there every single time. For more information on that, check out some of my other videos. I've got it in detail in many of my videos on how to drop 0.5 kilo in a weight loss phase of 10 weeks and also 1 kilo in a 10-week period. Check those videos out, guys. It'll educate you and it will help you get to your goal. Now, you might be wondering, oh, yeah, it's okay. That system might work for you, but it might not work for me. I've been a personal trainer and weight loss consultant for 15 years, and I've had over 2,000 weight loss clients through that period. And I've had clients that have lost 50 and 60 kilos off their frame, basically halving the size that they are using the exact same process. The reason that works, guys, is simply if you're on a diet for 6 months or 12 months, which one, chances are you'll fail before that happens. But if you would get to a point where you have a massive plateau, and the only way you can continue your weight loss journey is to eat even less than when you first started going on a diet. And the reason for it is because your metabolism is going to drop throughout your diet period of 6 or 12 months. At the 3-month mark, guys, your metabolism has dropped around about 200 or 300 calories per day. That means if you're on a deficit of, say, 500 and you're tracking, 0.5 kilo a week, all of a sudden you're plateauing, you're going to lose 1/4 a week. That's going to be detrimental to your motivation, and all of a sudden you're going to quit the diet because it's no longer working for you. However, if you got to, say, the 3-month mark, stopped your diet, and be happy with the weight loss that you've achieved over that, say, 8 to 12 weeks, and then learn to maintain that weight throughout the next 8 weeks. By eating your maintenance calories at your new weight, 1, you got to learn how to maintain that weight, and 2, you're going to allow your metabolism and your system to recover from the rigors of the diet that you've just finished. And then after 8 weeks, you might push it out to 12 weeks. Bang, hit it again. Get another 5 kilos or 10 kilos by 10% off and continue that process. I had a client that's lost 60 kilos over a 2-year period. 2 years, that's 6 blocks. And she lost 8 to 10 kilos every single block, guys. So it can be done. And what else that maintenance period does as well, guys, is it's a light at the end of the tunnel. If you're just thinking, oh, I've got to go on a diet until I lose 20 kilos or 30 kilos or whatever it might be, shit, that could take, like I said, 1-2 years. Hey, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to quit that diet before you get there. Chances are. However, if you know that, okay, I'm going hard for 10 weeks, 10 weeks, throw everything at me, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to lose my 5 or 10% body fat over that period, and then I can rest and recover before I hit it again to get another 5 or 10% off. That light at the end of the tunnel is going to motivate you to get there more so than thinking you got to do it for 6 months or 12 months to get a similar result. Now, let's go through a couple of other ways you can measure your progress in your weight loss journey. Now, progress, guys, you can look at the scales, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you the truth. However, with scales, it's going to also add in the water that you're carrying around, the excess water from eating carbohydrates, from being dehydrated, from having alcohol. All that creates water storage. And so that water storage is going to reflect on the scales. So sometimes the scales, especially if you tend to retain water really easily, is going to be really detrimental and demotivating to you. Other ways to do it, guys, is one, look at your clothes. When you start your weight loss phase or your weight loss diet, pull out a piece of clothing that you can get on, but it's really tight. And you think, oh, I'd like to fit that one day. Keep it out, make a note. How does it feel when it's on? It's got to be tight. It's got to be something that you can progress into. So you know that things are changing in your body as you go through the weeks and months. If you do that, hold it, pull it out, put it on your wardrobe, put it on your door, have it out all the time. So you're looking at it and thinking, yeah, every 2 weeks, that's what I'm going to try on. And guarantee within a month, if you're doing everything correctly, you've got your caloric deficit, you're doing your activity needed for 0.5 kilo or 1 kilo, you're doing your water, you're going to fit that dress or those pair of pants or whatever it might be. And then the next step, go shopping, go and get another something that's a little bit too small. That's the next thing you're going to try and get into. Each time, if you put something on that's a little bit tight, within a month, you're going to get that piece of clothing on. And you're going month to month, dropping sizes each month. How much would that motivate you to keep going through your diet and to not quit and not fail and get to the end of that 8 to 12 week period, whatever you decide to do? Now, the second one is a before and after photo, guys. Take it weekly. So set up a camera, exactly the same spot. You stand on the X wherever you mark your spot, and you take a photo in your underpants, a full body, no smiling or anything like that. Just a serious photo, arms out so you can see all of you. You might want to just keep it to yourself, of course, rather than spread around on the internet. But take a photo for your personal records, and every 7 days or once a week, take that exactly the same photo, the same pose, same clothing, same underpants, whatever it might be, same distance, the camera, you're in the same pose. Do that consecutively for 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. You're going to see that change. And if you can zoom in and have a look at your face and the differences between photos, I do a collage, put the photos next to each other, you'll see that difference, guys. And that will motivate you along to get through that 8 to 12 week period. And because you can progressively see, not week to week, but you'll see it every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, 5 weeks. You'll see that mark where it starts to change. And that's the point that will start motivating you to push ahead. Use that along with that next level of clothing down that you're going to fit into. Hey, that'll keep you motivated to get to that 8 to 12 week mark, because it's all about commitment, guys. People start 126 diets in their lifetime. Why do they need to do all that? You can do one and achieve it and then maintain it and you're done. That's it. As long as you do it correctly, which is the way I'm telling you right now. As long as you do it correctly and you stay committed. Because the reason people are doing 126 diets is because they're not committed. They'll start and then they'll stop. They'll start, then they'll stop. 3 weeks ahead, 4 weeks time. They'll continuously start stopping, loading up on food, bouncing back to their original way. And if you do a mini break, like a mini diet, so 3 or 4 weeks, it is so easy to rebound back and to put on that 2 or 3 kilos that you've lost. And so I always recommend 8 to 12 weeks, push it out. Guys, it's quite a simple process. You've just got to commit to getting the steps done. Every single day, every week, week in, week out, you follow the process, because it is a process, guys, and you've got to stick with it. And it's going to be tough. There's no lies. It's going to be tough to get through it. But when you get to that 10-week mark, hey, fantastic. You're going to feel better. You're going to look more attractive. You're going to be fitter. You're going to be stronger. The clothes look better on you. There's no downside to losing that 10 kilos. And you're going to be healthier. You got less chance of any problems coming up in the future from your health from being overweight. So guys, commit, do it, change your life. Bye guys, Sean here. A lot of you are sending messages via the comments saying that you need help with your weight loss. Do me a favor, if you could send me a text, which is the best way to get a hold of me, on 0491 932 525. And again, 0491 932 525. Thanks heaps guys, I'll help you with whatever you need.